What's happening, YouTubers? It's your boy CB, and we are back for my favorite segment on the channel, Huddle Watch Alongs with Recruits. On today's episode, I have a special treat for you. I have one of the baddest pass rushers in the 2024 class, regardless of class. We're talking about a young man that led the entire state of Alabama in sacks and does it in a lot of different ways. Got a bunch of moves in his toolbox, can rush inside, outside with power, with speed, has that sideline to sideline speed you love too, and is just a menace, a motor that just does not quit. And he is a Miami Hurricanes commit. But you don't want to hear me tell it. You're going to want to hear it from him. So without further ado, one of the baddest pass rushers in the 2024 class, Miami commit, three-star defensive end Cole McConathy. How's it going, bro?
What's up, man? I'm happy to be here, and I don't know if I even deserve that big of an intro.
Man, look, well, the film deserves it on its own. We appreciate. I
I
know I speak for
appreciate
the
it.
Canes fan when I say we appreciate you being humble, but when you lead SEC country in sacks, you deserve that intro with some instruments. I just don't have drums. If I had drums, I would done a little, but I don't have drums, so I did the best I could. But before we get into the film, for you, someone that's had this success in high school, that's high school football, it becomes ingrained. It's in your DNA. You're with these guys in the locker room. Some of them you've been playing football with all the way from little league to intermediate. What's it like knowing that that door is closed? What was that feeling like, that very last game in high school for you?
I tried to do it as best job as I possibly could, taking everything in, like each game, making sure, like when I walked the field and everything, just taking it all in senior year, and knowing that I'm gonna be in a different state, surrounded by different people, and it switches over from uh, it's always going to be fun. It's football, but it switches over more so to a business and
Yes.
getting prepared for it.
That I like that mindset though, because as we progress in our journey, it is important to remember the steps we took. Like, oh, let me at least soak this in. It's 4 years of your life that you dedicated to a days, no sleep, waking up early, the work you do outside of school as well. So it's cool that you at least took that moment to go, all right, let me, all right, now it's on to the next thing.
No doubt, no doubt. You got to.
So you're on to the next thing already, about to be enrolled at Miami, but let's rewind the clock a little bit. What was your first introduction like with Cristobal, and what was that first meeting like?
How electric. I mean, he he like when he wants something, he's very relentless and goes after it. That's why he's had so much success recruiting. And I mean, went in the state of Alabama and had three guys committed. I know Kevin Riley, like we talked about him. He ended up flipping back to Alabama, but me and Bobby just being in the same area, and I mean that's pretty cool. And then I know he got two dudes in Chicago, snagged them from Ohio State, and just being able to go around all through the country and pick up guys like that. And also in the state of Florida. I mean, I know you can win with guys in the state of Florida as well.
But then you make the class all the more special when you can go get the guys from Chicago. You can go get, because it's just a different style of player, guys that have seen a different style of football as well. Florida's known for their speed, but you've had to deal with 300-pound offensive linemen, in high school.
Sure.
So you guys bring something different that the guys from down south don't bring. Another coach I have to ask you about, because when we see our pass rushers and we see the ones that get offered, we watch the film and then we go, "Oh, Jason Taylor's got to be going crazy watching your film." What was that relationship like with Coach Jason Taylor, and how's that relationship built over from the time you first met him to obviously you're about to be on campus with him here shortly?
Yes, been great. I can't speak enough great things about Coach Taylor. Everything he does is, how he does everything. How he does anything is how he does everything. And I mean, it's just, I would say he's a Hall of Fame coach just so much as a Hall of Fame player, and has taught me so much just even before I was committed. and breaking down offensive tackles film and what moves I need to work on them even before I was committed. And he's taught
Gotcha.
me a lot already, really.
So Lightfoot said the same thing. So Lightfoot
Yeah.
said he gave him a couple moves to use. And Lightfoot was like, "Well, like let me test these out, right? I'm gonna go to a camp and see if they're any good." He said and they both worked. He was like, what? And he wasn't committed at the time. We were just recruiting him, but it was that relationship building that he does that I think he just enjoys coaching. I think, whether you're going to be a Cane or not, if he sees something he can improve in your game, I think the coach in him has to give that advice. Coach Miraball's that way too. It's like
Yes.
he'll be on Twitter, talking to a guy committed to Nebraska about his footwork, like giving him tips. And I think it's just that natural coach in them that when they see something, it's like, oh, I can help him, regardless if he's going to be, wearing my helmet next year. But I see something in that guy and I want to help him. How much did that factor into why you wanted to become a Cane? That relationship and that tenacity from guys like Coach Jason Taylor and Coach Cristobal.
Obviously, that was huge and contributed a big factor in my recruitment and going there. But there was also a lot of other things like it being an elite education as well, and
Love that.
being surrounded by great players. Obviously, my class being a top three class.
And that in the defensive line class, we spoke about some of the defensive players. Obviously, Cameron Bobby Pruitt at linebacker slash. I mean, he's just a football
Yeah,
player on defense. Doesn't really matter where you play Bobby. You just
yeah.
play.
I mean,
You just play Bobby. It doesn't matter where you put
yeah.
him. You just put him out
Bobby,
there.
Bobby's nut. Bobby sent two guys on our offense to the sidelines crying when we played them.
That sounds like Bobby. That
So
sounds very much like. So, what is that? How's that? I know, obviously, you know Bobby because y'all are in the same area. Have you gotten a
yeah.
chance to interact with a lot of the other 24 commits?
Yeah, on the official visit, and I've gotten to talk to them and get to know them. We're all, I'd say that class is pretty tight. I mean, it's easy to talk to any of those guys.
That's what it seems like. It seems like when new guy comes in, it's also there's clearly a type, right? Smart, athletic, hungry for the game, versatile and athletic. It seems like that's the
Yes,
Mario Cristobal mold there.
that's why
But
it's
every
easy
time,
to talk to them. That's why it's easy to talk to
yes,
other
it seems like
guys.
you guys are just like every time they add when Plies comes, he fits the culture, he fits, and then he just becomes a brother with the rest of, and then Juan commit, and it's just like every time another one of you guys commit, it's you can see the style of player he wants. And for those of you that have not seen his film, if y'all are wondering what style of player he is, the best word I have for you is relentless. Just absolutely relentless. The motor you have on you is absolutely absurd. And for those of you that have not seen it, you are in for a treat. Now, on a play like this here,
Yeah.
that's just you being too quick. You're just too quick with your hands as well. He he turned around and looked because I think he was surprised how fast you got by him. Has that first step, that quick first step, has that always been a heavy part of your arsenal?
I would say so. I mean, growing up, I played quarterback originally. I played quarterback and outside linebacker.
Quarter. So when did you stop playing quarterback?
Sophomore year. Sophomore year.
What was it about defense, about linebacker, about defensive end that it felt natural for you?
It was just I had too many reasons to play it. Like my dad played it. My dad won Mr. Football in Louisiana and had a shot playing in the NFL, and he taught me a lot about rushing the passer, and I got to credit a lot of it to him. So
What was it like growing up playing ball? Obviously, for most of us, we grow up, our father's our first superhero. I tell my dad all the
yeah,
time, you're Superman to me. I don't care how old you think you are. What was it like for you being a pass rusher, being young and knowing you had that asset at home where you could, hey dad, I was having trouble with my swim move, like guard got in on me. What was it like developing knowing you had somebody at home you could at least bounce these ideas off of?
yeah. I thank God for him every day, and it's like my best friend. So he's taught me a lot, and also a guy named Wallace Gilberry. who has taught me so much. He played in the league for like 10 years, and his style of teaching versus my dad's style of teaching are different. Wallace is a lot more, aggressive and, and just go. And my dad teaches me in other ways, but not saying my dad isn't very aggressive in some of the things he says or teaches me, but
Different
I'm just,
styles.
yeah, definitely different styles of, and they also play different positions. My dad played more a linebacker, and Wallace
Okay.
played defensive tackle. But I'm blessed to have both of them in my corner as some of my mentors, and Wallace has helped me a lot over the past couple of years. So very thankful for him, and gonna have to go see him one more time before I go move down to Miami.
So is this his influence here? You playing right over the center at nose tackle. When you get down in that stance, are you already starting to think, all right, I know some of the moves Wallace gave me here to be in this position?
Oh, we worked night and day the week leading up to games like this. So he actually played at Bay Minette. He played for this high school
Oh, wow.
I'm going against. Yeah, and I have to credit this to my coach, Coach Turner. He had the idea of moving me all around because I was getting. I mean, in the jamboree, I had three guys on me and just all kinds of stuff. So that was a way for me to get freed up. And I'm pretty sure that was going. He was trying to throw a tunnel screen on that one.
Absolutely blew that up.
So wasn't really even supposed to get a sack. Ended up kind of getting lucky.
How much of that was, or how much of that forced you to change your game? Obviously, coming into this, well, you had the sack numbers last year too, but obviously going into
Yes.
your senior year, they're definitely keying in on you. They're definitely thinking, okay, we at least got to, if not two and chip him, one and chip him. We got to put hands on him. How much did that force you to adjust and change your game this year, knowing the offense is 100% focusing, making sure you don't get off the line?
Yeah, there's no doubt. And I have to credit that to my coach, like even dropping me on plays like this and just moving me, not keeping me in one spot and adjusting the defense is how you stop that. And whether or not they read me, they can't be right because we're blitzing the other side or all kinds of stuff are going on in that defense.
How much do you enjoy when you do have an opportunity to drop back in coverage like this and show some of that athleticism?
Yeah, I enjoy it. I mean, it's definitely hard sometimes when you're going against like 5'9" dude who like Ryan Williams or something like that. So, trying to guard them is not something that's not one of my best talents at all. So
One of your best talents, though, is your handwork. So, one of the things I love to see from a young pass rusher is ability to use his hands. You showcase two key abilities here, not just the bend, but the ability to hand fight, make sure that offensive lineman does not get his hands inside on your breastplate. How important for younger pass rushers watching this, the younger guys over there at Spanish Fort thinking they're going to be the next Cole McConathy. How important is it that ability to hand fight and make sure an offensive lineman does not get in on you?
that's I mean, offensive linemen are taught to if they are able to touch you, which they shouldn't, they're taught to hold you and grab you, not let you go. So you I mean that's everything. So and it obviously starts with a get off, but here I'm trying to grab his back shoulder and I miss. Uh but just see the quarterback escape and just having to go chase him down.
This is what you call a high motor. That I don't know how else to describe that is relentless pursuit. And what I love about your defense too is it's not just you. You see guys flow into the football. Y'all are swarming. Is that something your defensive
Yeah,
coordinator stressed a lot for you
for
guys?
sure. Yeah, his name was Brian Turner. He coached Demarcus Ware up at Troy. So
Cool. Cowboy
he
fan, so
yeah.
that hits close to home.
Yeah, he's told. So the first day I ended up switching over and kind of playing outside linebacker, D edge, whatever you want to call it. Uh, Switched over and played that for him. He told me he's coached a lot of guys and that I got a chance to be great at it. So that meant a lot to me knowing who he's coached and him telling me that.
Who are some of the guys you like to look up to? Some of the guys you like to watch? Maybe they are pass rushers, maybe they're
Yeah,
linebackers. Are there guys you like to watch to maybe just nitpick? Because obviously you are you, so you don't want to
for
steal
sure.
someone's whole style, but you can take a tidbit here, a move from this guy. Is there a couple guys or a guy that you like to study and watch?
Yes, I mean, I like obviously like guys that play my position and everything. You know, you got to give guys that are leading the NFL in sacks, like Micah Parsons, T.J. Watt, and I mean they all have similar moves, and I think Micah Parsons is not getting enough respect because he's getting triple teamed. That's why he can't produce as much as he would like to, but uh, and you know, there's the NFL is very rich with pass rushers. I mean, like Max Crosby, he's very relentless. I
Beast.
enjoy watching him for sure. And you know, Von Miller. Uh, I remember watching Kayvon Thibodeau. I used to watch Kayvon Thibodeau's high school highlights a lot, actually, in like middle school. So I still do his workout.
Really?
Yeah, I screenshotted it. I still got it on my phone, man.
I love that though. I absolutely, because they're any athlete, there's someone you either look up to because you admire their game, you admire how they do it, or their journey, how they got there, or somebody like Thibodeau, his work ethic.
Yeah, for
There's
sure.
all those little things you take from guys and you mold it into what Cole McConathy becomes.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And you know, guy like he had a 4.0 all through high school too was another thing that I liked about him.
So you spoke about that earlier. Have you decided? Do you know what you're majoring in when you get to Miami?
Yeah, I'm gonna study architecture.
That is wicked. So, what side of architecture? The design or
I would say more so the design side of it, and you know, just being able. It obviously fit because my dad's a contractor, so
so
it's
I like that.
kind of helped out a little bit.
How much did that factor in, not just to the final decision, but even earlier in your process when you were getting offers, when you were taking your visits? How much did that factor in? Not just I'm looking for a school, a relationship with a coach, as well
Yeah.
as I'm here to get an education as well.
Well, I've grown up. I've always been taught pick a school, not a coach. And Miami had all the combinations of picking a school and a coach, so that contributed a lot in that decision.
I love that. One of the things I do love about your game as a pass rusher, which goes underrated for pass rushers in general, is the disruptiveness. You don't always have to get a sack. It's not always a tackle for loss. Sometimes it's something that does not show up on the stat unless they're registering pressures. But a play like this, where you can disrupt the timing from this quarterback and force him to get rid of the ball, even just a hair quicker than he wanted to, completely ruins the timing of a play. It's not always the sack, the strip sack, the fumble. Sometimes it's just the effort to get there a little early and force an errant throw.
Yeah, and I kind of hesitated on that one. So I maybe if I didn't hesitate and
You're
everything,
there.
I probably would have been a sack. Like right there, I kind of pulled up.
That little hesitation.
Yeah, that came with I had a rough in the passer call earlier, so I was a little hesitant, and you can't be hesitant at all. So that could have been the difference in a sack right there and the pressure.
So one great thing about football is it's the ultimate equalizer. You learn these kind of lessons in real time. I
That's right. Yeah,
bet you that didn't happen to you again because you learn and adapt in real time. And that's one of the beautiful things about the sport is you can watch sometimes guys develop during a game. You can watch somebody make a mistake and then be put in that same situation and take the right angle, catch that pass this time, make that block. It's one of the beautiful things about football.
there's no doubt.
So of your moves, do you have a favorite? Like, I obviously certain moves, certain situations call for certain moves, but do you have a
Yeah,
favorite where it's like, hey, if I hit him with this, I'm getting home?
I've always like if you could grab their shoulder. I mean, that's if you can grab their outside shoulder with your outside arm, they're done, or outside chop. I mean, there's different variations of that. But what Coach Taylor's taught me a lot of was his, you know, being being blessed with length, using a long arm when they turn out for your speed. So that I began to understand as I began to understand how to use that move more. That's I feel like that could become my favorite for sure.
And I feel like as a pass rusher, those moves they've evolved over the years, I'm guessing, right? Because at first you're probably just faster. And
Yeah.
then it's like, all right, now I gotta learn how to bend a bit because I'm faster, but bigger guys can get their hands on me. So I gotta learn how to bend. And so I would imagine that's evolved. If you could summarize the difference between Cole McConathy now versus sophomore season Cole McConathy, what do you think is the biggest difference in those two football players?
Um, being dominant. I wouldn't say I was dominant and being able to take over games sophomore year because I was still learning more stuff. Not to say I'm not still learning. I'm learning each and every day, but just very very new to it, and kind of I was thinking about just doing my job, not necessarily taking over games.
When do you feel like that changed for you when that light switch went on for you?
Um, Probably I'd have to say. I mean, I had games sophomore year, taken that I took over for sure, but uh, I'd probably say junior year when I had 7.5 sacks against McGill, and that game kind of took me over. I mean, that game helped me out a lot with understanding how to take over football games.
So I love asking this question to everybody that comes on. You're having a 7.5 sack game, right? What kind of player is Cole McConathy when he's balling like that? Are you energetic on the field? Are you talking a lot of trash? Or are you a bit more on the reserve side, no matter what the stats look like?
I mean, yeah, I mean, you're definitely gonna talk, but you got to conserve your energy as much as you can. But definitely, I mean, I'm not yelling and everything, trying to keep my cool and conserve my energy. But I mean, having games like that, that's all credit to practice, the week of preparation and practice, and that's got to be credit to the scheme. And I mean, they just happen to be throwing the ball a lot, and a lot of things went my way. Felt like I should have had more sacks really in that game.
Did you know? Is that because a lot of times you have performances like that, you don't know how impactful they are when you just start getting into the flow. Did you know midway through that, like, holy cow, I think I've got
Yeah.
5 sacks so far here now?
I mean, you hear it like when they call your name and stuff, but I mean, you're kind of just in that mode and just going. So I mean, I knew I had three in the first quarter, and I ended up finishing with like 22 tackles and 9 TFLs and three forced fumbles. But I mean, I knew like I was putting up a lot of numbers and getting in because they were just running the ball my way a lot. So, but still felt like I could have had more.
If you could pick a game or a moment from high school that was your favorite, was it that game or is there another moment that comes to mind? I can
No,
see you lit
it
up
wouldn't be.
already.
It was probably this season. I have to say, when we played our rival, we played Daphne, and they were up. They were up like 20. They were up 21 points on us at halftime, and we came back and won at their place.
Oh, tell us what that was like.
Nah, it was electric because it's across I-10 where we play. So I mean, it's nothing but 5-10 minutes away from each other. So it was
Oh,
packed.
wow.
A lot of people out there. And I mean, I tried, like, I remember going to play them. I love playing them over at their place. And like sophomore year, we went and played them. We showed up at kickoff. We didn't even warm up or anything, just showed up at
What?
kickoff and won.
That's the most gangster thing I've ever heard in my life.
I
That's so
loved that
dope.
was that I had two head coaches in high school, and the first one I had, Coach Blackman, he had that made that happen for us. So we showed up at kickoff and handled business, went out there and won.
Oh, let me tell you something. If a team show up at kickoff, no stretching, no nothing, they know something you
Yeah.
don't. Like they, you know what I mean? Like that team did not come to lose. They know something you don't know. I love that story. I have never heard that anything like that before. Being on the other side had to be like, hey man, I know we say we can win, but bro, they didn't stretch. Like they showed up at game time. Everybody, trainers,
Yeah,
staff, nobody unpacked anything early. They just got here. That's a whole different kind of swagger. But I like that he had that confidence in y'all too, because swagger comes from the top
for
down,
sure.
right? So when you see the swagger in your coach to go, no warm up, we got this. You feel it like, oh yeah, he right, yeah, we got this. I absolutely love that. And then you got to deliver. Obviously, you have to then
Yeah.
deliver, which you guys did.
But those, I mean, that's when you talk about Miami football, those are the type of vibes you get from them as
That
well.
is the
So
swagger.
it's exact same.
Speaking of that swagger, your new defensive coordinator, the Cajun Cane himself, Coach Guidry, has that swagger in spades. That dude
There's no doubt.
is a mad scientist. How excited are you to play under Guidry and develop under Lance Guidry? And what's that relationship been like?
Very. I mean, it's been very fit like just very electric since I met him, and never a dull moment. I mean, he actually coached against my dad in high school, so just know
Really?
that. Yeah,
So that had to be something. So there's a little bit of familiarity there, but you fitting into that scheme, we saw it inside outside. Ken drop. We saw him drop them defensive ends back in coverage. We saw him do it with Jaden Wayne quite a bit in the spring. How
yeah.
excited are you to get in that system? Because I always say it looks like Guidry likes athleticism, versatility, and smarts, and he feels like he can work with that. How excited are you to get in that scheme with the versatility you have?
Obviously, I'm stoked and ready to get out there and compete.
And that happens. So you guys report soon at Green Tree. I'm really excited about this class. It's a bunch of you guys coming in early, which is obviously just good for the development of the program. The battles at Green Tree are going to be legendary. I mean, you versus guys like Plaz and Wammanaya and Maui Noah and Pancake Honcho. That's going to be epic. I know I speak for all of Canes fans when I say we cannot wait to see it. For Canes fans that are not familiar with you, if you could summarize quickly, or not quickly, if you're like me and you talk a bunch, because I talk a lot. If someone who doesn't know Cole McConathy, what are Canes fans and the program getting in Cole McConathy?
Um, Getting a guy that's, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna put my all into it and just come to work each and every day and uh, try and keep same composure, each and every day, not get too high, not get too low.
Absolutely love that. You sound like a Mario guy. Like you you sound like a Mario guy. That intelligence, that love for the game, but also that maturity to know that like I'm here to work. This is obviously a dream of mine, but I'm also here to work. It I don't know what's in the water over there, but Bobby Pruitt's the exact same way. By the way, both of you, I don't know if y'all are
Yeah.
gonna fight for number 6, y'all are gonna race for it. It's whoever hits the running back the hardest in spring, but y'all are both, y'all are coming in wanting the same number. So that's gonna be interesting. But just seeing what he can do with both of y'all, could you in high school, did you ever imagine a situation where you were watching him do his thing on the other sideline thinking some quarterback may have to deal with both of us one day?
No, I just thought that I'd love to play with him. Like I tried to, be able to play with him my senior year. I ended up being able to play with his cousin, Sterling Dixon, and there's a lot of talent over there in Mobile, Alabama. So I just remember thinking like I would love to be able to play with him and seeing him the way he plays the game.
I think it's going to be exciting. I think the athletes they have in this class, guys like you, guys like Booker Pickett, Elias Rudolph,
Yeah,
Marquise Lightfoot. I mean, that those are blue chip pass rushers. Anywhere in the country, they're jumping up and down for that. So the fact that we've got all 4 of you guys, it's going to be awesome. And I speak for all the Canes fans when I say we cannot wait to see you guys doing your thing. Let them know where they can follow you on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll put those links down in the description so y'all can go follow our guy now. Like the second this video ends, y'all go follow him right now.
You can find me at Cole McConathy on Instagram and Twitter.
Go follow our boy right now. About to be terrorizing ACC quarterbacks for the next 3 to 4 years. Cole, thank you so much for coming on the show, bro. I wish you nothing but luck. And obviously, go Canes.
Go Canes, man. Thanks for having me.
Like, share, and subscribe. Go follow Cole right now. Click off the video. Go and follow Cole. We out.